Tip of the day, taking responsibility, dealing with your shit, own it, because it's yours, only yours. So let me elaborate on this. I was the biggest offender. I didn't realize that I was pushing it off and just sending over to other people, places, situations, as long as I didn't need to deal with myself. And this is another thing that I want to go into, as well as the subject matter of taking responsibility of your stuff. It's also about the distractions that we're given that kind of bullshits us into think that we are dealing with our stuff and that we're doing what's expected of us, when really, actually, we're just, like I say, bullshitting ourselves. So with owning your stuff, how does that play out? Usually when you are in the blame game. Oh, he's the one. No, I'm like this because of that. And the only reason I ended up here is because of this. No, everything in your life is a creation of you. You are in charge of your own destiny, only you, and you create everything outside of yourself. So whatever's going on in here is a reflection of what's going on out here. And there is a universal law, as is above, so is below, as is within, and so is without. What the hell does that mean? Let me explain. It means you are a reflection. You are a reflection of heaven on earth. And you are a reflection of outside and in. So you're the stars, you're the earth, you're all that is. So everything, you're part of the big whole. So everything that goes on is a reflection of you, and vice versa. So with that being said, everything that goes on around you is a creation of what's going on inside of you. That's pretty powerful, hey? You'll do well in the future. Just a little tip. When you go into a situation that makes you angry or upset or frustrated, or you're arguing with somebody, stop, wait a minute, go into the heart center and go, right, what is going on inside of me that has called this in? And that's what you'll find when you more and more do this work, that you won't go into the blame games. Immediately you'll go in like, whoa, let me check myself, what's going on? So that's where ultimately you're working towards. So now, as this is the Peru Diaries, and it's the tip of the day to do with the Peru trip that I've been on, so now I'm going to bring up a scenario of what happened to me when I was away. A huge play out of me not dealing with my stuff. So the one day we drank San Pedro. For those of you that don't know, that's plant medicine, and otherwise known as Wachuma, the grandfather. He's a big teacher. I had a really bad experience on this medicine because of this subject matter. I was very upset the whole time I was on the journey. I was very sick as well. And all I wanted to do, I remember being in the journey, and all I remember saying is like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I just want Brendan. I think maybe at some point I said, I just want my mom. I think I said that. So you can understand how bad it was. But you know what? I was running. I was just like, get me out of here. And even 3 days after the medicine, 2-3 days, I was still thinking, God, I just want to get off this mountain and go home. I just, I'm out. So that was me running. So all I wanted to do is get the hell out of the situation and just go back to my safe space, whatever the safe space is. So that's what happened to me. And it was only afterwards when I got the understanding. And it was about running away from my shit, not dealing with it. I had to stand here and look at it and look at myself and go, right, whether I liked it or not, I'm looking at my dark bits, my shadow side, and I'm going to deal with myself. And isn't it funny that the scenario, I was on a mountain with no Wi-Fi, with no family members, with no one at all except myself. So I think if it happened in suburbia, like here, I would have phoned my friend, I would have been on the phone to somebody, there would have been a support base where I could have, wait for it, offloaded my shit and given it to someone else and gone, I'm feeling like this. And because my friends love me, they would have stroked my hair, told me I'm pretty and gone, Shay Marie, yeah, it's not your fault. I would have felt better and I would have carried on with my life and I wouldn't have taken responsibility for anything. So there's the difference. Sometimes being on a mountain serves you well, hey? So I now want to talk about distractions. While I was on this trip, I was so overly worried and obsessed with the fact that I mean, we should have been just traveling with a light backpack, but I had so much stuff and I was constantly worrying about how much I was carrying. And had so much luggage and people are going to look at me and go, oh my God, did she really bring everything from home to bring to the trip with her? And I was worried about this judgment, too much focus on this. That was a distraction. That was playing out as a distraction of the focus on the luggage, so I didn't focus on myself. There were lots of things that played out that I would find my mind would hook onto, and I'd be looking at that going, well, what about this? What about that? You know, even down to the small things that really didn't matter. It was a distraction. My ego mind was saying, hey, let's go this way, so you don't have to look at yourself. So again, it's another way of kind of, not dealing with my stuff again. So distractions are huge, and you'll be, well, I found out that I was quite blown away as to how much of a trickster this was. I'm telling you now, I believed it so much that eventually when I realized it was a distraction, I was like, whoa, I would never have thought. I really believed the scenario that was playing out in front of me, that my luggage was an issue. No, it wasn't. It was just saying, hey, let's deal with this, because then you don't have to do the work. So that's how it was playing out for me in Peru. So now, really, I think number one is deal with your stuff, okay? When you find yourself pointing, you're not dealing with your stuff. So secondly, when you find yourself busying yourself or overly distracted with the kids or saying, yeah, I need to do this job, or I'm so busy. I mean, I'm a big one saying, I'm so busy. It's a distraction. It's a distraction for me having to be still, closing my eyes, dropping into my heart and listening. What is it that we're so scared about, that we don't want to listen? We don't want to hear? What is it that we think might come out of those spaces? Why are we so fearful to look at ourselves in our true light? What could be so bad? So, this is about getting out of the rat race and coming into the stillness. Something to ponder on, methinks. So, this is about observation and awareness, I think. Just taking on board what I've said and just taking it with you in your day and mindfully being aware of how much this distracts you, and mindfully being aware of how much you're dealing with your own stuff and taking responsibility rather than putting it in somebody else's lap. Something to ponder on. Thanks for listening.